Welcome to the Cosmic Library, a tempestuous place where realities collide and disappear, returning to the dust from which they came. I am Goon the Unending, your host and game master tonight. Because today we are going to be playtesting for the second time a little lore builder / pantheon builder companion game for your long-form TTRPG campaigns called Let's Be Gods. I actually wrote down the rules. I made some new mechanics, wrote down all the rules, and then a friend, Smokey, put my ramblings through ChatGPT and made it look nice and pretty. And as soon as I figure out where Noodle posted his, I might post this there also. So,
Drive-through RPG.
Let's begin. Let's Be Gods, a pantheon building TTRPG by Goon the Unending of the Cosmic Library. In the beginning, there was you. One of you is the god Magus. It's GM. And the rest are gods, powerful and mighty. You have always been and always will be. Now, the creatures on this planet are smart enough to name you. This begs the question, who or what are you? I've added, James, 3 god archetypes. Starting first and foremost with a sage god. Good is a simple way to put it. You find these little beings fascinating, and like it when they like you back. Your goals are to create ways for mortals to seal away malevolent gods, and judge the actions of trickster gods. Bringing me to trickster gods. Good is what is funny. You find their simple, foolish minds amusing, and consider them no more important than your favorite new toy. Your goals are to disrupt both sage and malevolent gods' plans and make the GM laugh. And finally, a malevolent god. Good is silence. Good is stillness. These creatures, with every beat of their hearts, wake you from your eternal sleep. They must be eradicated. Your goals are to create evils that will end all life on this planet and demolish all that stand in your way. Does anyone want to call dibs before we get started?
Nobody else wants it. I want to be a malevolent god.
I mean, I was a good god last time. Mm-hmm. I'll let Goon figure out if you want me to continue to be a good god or if you
Technically
want me to
speaking, there wasn't any kind of god.
You know I was. You guys good gods last time. You were good gods. I had the best gods last time. I had mom and dad gods.
Smashing people's heads with rocks.
Well,
if
he
we
wasn't.
We
Okay. Noodle didn't want to be bad. He just kind of was accidentally bad there for a minute.
Yeah, he still was kind of bad. He was the god of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But if we had to apply the archetypes the last time, Noodle would have been a malevolent god. As close as we can get to what this archetype is.
Okay.
I believe that Moss would have been a trickster god last time. As close as you can get to one. You were giving them rocks to stand on.
You were telling them to adorn themselves in the trash of the previous age.
It's as close to the archetype as possible.
The earth.
Yeah,
but in reality, it's as close to the trickster god as possible. And I literally was trying to make my people live. It's like, you guys live in the tundra. Please don't die.
Please don't die.
Please don't die.
Okay. So malevolent has been spoken for then.
Unless anybody else wants to be evil. No, okay.
I'll let you do what you want.
Okay.
I was leaning towards trickster.
I will be good again, and I will smite thee. The old powerful god hand.
Okay. Judge does not mean just smite. You need to know this, alright?
Oh, I'm fully aware.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if I'm not actually committing crimes, you're just gonna genocide my people for being trickstery?
Yes.
But then that would make you malevolent.
Not in the eyes of God.
And then...
Damn it.
You're all gods! Alright. So, let us... Now that I... Okay, I'll put my book between my legs then. It's time to move on to In the Beginning. So we're not gonna be visiting the same world as last time. The Dragon Worlds didn't hit as much as I wanted to, so we're just gonna do this run-of-the-mill terra firma type planet with a variety of biomes, which we will roll for in a minute. I'm not really gonna put a limit on the size of creature that you can evolve your sentient species to or from. Feel free to pull a straight-up fantasy race out of your butt and make that your primitive species to manipulate. But we're just gonna go ahead and you know what? Because you're brand spanking new, we're gonna go ahead and roll for Smokey's biome first. We're just gonna use a D10 for this. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So, you have been gifted a desert biome. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
And then for Moss, 9, you get a rainforest biome.
That's nice.
And for James, no, no ice for you, please.
Let's see, literally, I have my notes from last time. I had a polar ice cap.
Let's see. You get a You don't get the polar ice caps. You just get mountains. Your biome is a mountainous one.
You telling me that I get dwarves?
If you so desire. If you so desire, you may make a race of dwarves. You are a god. But yeah, could each, if you want to, whoever wants to go first, describe the race of creatures that grow into intelligence in your biome.
I went first. Why don't we go with last first?
Since you already have a pretty good idea as to what you want.
I'm gonna go with effectively like stone creatures. So it would be, if they were to evolve over the millennia, they would become dwarves.
Okay.
But they are hewn from the stone of the mountains. Kind of like a golem type deal.
Like a golem type deal? Can I pitch something a la...
You can pitch whatever you want, buddy.
Living moss?
I'm thinking higher in the mountains, so it would be... But we want living, right? So stone would be kind of what you're... Okay, give me a second. We are gonna go similar. We're gonna go lichen, so that they are a combination of fungus and algae and
living lichen that make their bodies out of stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like they're basically stone mechs. It is plant creatures that use stone to create their bodies.
Hell yes. Living.
I will come up with a name.
Stone mechs living lycus. And do you have a name for these, or are you just gonna call them dwarves?
I will. Let's call them dwarves. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
So like lichen stone mechs that are dwarves.
They have great. The lichen is most pronounced in their enormous dwarven beards.
Yeah, they have large mossy licheny beards.
Hell yeah.
And
It's a
gemstones
great
for
way to
eyes.
capture particulates and stimulus coming at them is with a very big, broad shield of sensitive lichen material. Moss, do you want to go next for your rainforest biome?
Yes, I want leshy type creatures. So like, kind of dryad, kind of more.
So you're kind of leaning towards what I'm doing too, is like plant creatures.
Another living plant?
Yeah, plant
Yeah.
creatures. Yeah, like they're covered in moss and mushrooms and hanging ivies, and they decorate themselves with flowers.
Gotcha. If there's like a root species of plant, what is it?
Mangrove.
Okay, so like mangrove people. I imagine like almost like I imagine a variety of limbs, but the majority of them are some kind of quadruped or kind of mostly crawling creatures. The way that the mangrove kind of like goes down in the water type situation. These are your people. I'm just building.
I was thinking like more dryad for the shape. So
Okay. Mangrove, dryad people. Do you have a name for these people?
let's just call them forest nymphs or something.
You just call them elves. We have dwarves and elves.
Yeah, they're forest nymphs.
And Smokey, your desert folk.
Yes, let's round out this this fantasy trifecta we have here and go with the classic. We've got dwarves, we got elves. Let's go for some classic humans.
Classic humans. Okay.
Classic humans. These are hairless apes. They are.
I'm feeling Mad Max vibes.
You could feel that.
But it's more accurate to like the human that evolved on this planet
Yes, definitely.
from the
They
deserts
are,
of Africa.
I would straight up say they are Homo sapiens.
Humans, Homo sapiens.
Mm-hmm. They can come up with their own name for themselves. That's not for me. That's none of. I don't care.
You don't give a crap, right?
No, they're themselves. They can be whatever they want to be.
Okay. And then we come to the second part of in the beginning. We will one by one describe the very first prophet of your new religion, experiencing you in your godly domain for the very first time and hearing your name, and understanding that there are creatures and beings far bigger and far less understandable than what they've recently even evolved to begin to understand. Does anyone want to go first?
One moment, I'm trying to come up with my god's name.
Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Yeah.
If you guys don't have it, I'll go first.
Okay. So, the hairless ape,
Mm-hmm.
a persistent hunter of the desert biome of this world. A group of them, traveling in a pack, spears in hand, chasing down a lesser life form, something with 3 legs and 3 horns on its head. Spears fly through the air. Miss. They run up. This is what they do. They chase this creature. They pick up their spears again. They throw them. Miss. One of these humans stops, tired of running. The other 2 can have this kill, but he's gonna hang back and catch his breath.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a primitive knife and cuts a piece of fruit off of a nearby cactus. No one's done it before, but someone's got to be the first. And in this cactus juice-laden Let's call it a hallucination. I mean, religions have been based on far less weird things. How do you present yourself to this primitive man?
They take this fruit, cut it open, and it's juicy, it's beautiful. They take a nice soft bite of it, and as they close their eyes and appreciate its fullness, its savoriness, its sweetness, they open back their eyes, and suddenly the air around them shifts. It was blowing in a direction at first. North, south, east, west, doesn't matter. And it suddenly just goes stagnant. As they take in the current surroundings, the sky around them seems to darken, and the sands begin to shift and shiver, and they find themselves waist deep within the dunes.
Starts to sweat, hyperventilate, starts clawing at the sand around its waist, not knowing exactly when they became stuck, but they're clearly stuck. They start to fight it. They have to survive. It's all they've known. It's just run, fight, survive, run, fight, eat, fuck, survive.
And the wind picks up, giving a short shh, like a comforting whisper, kind of tells them to calm down. Shh. The air continues to be still, and they feel a short brush across their lower jaw. Hello. A voice says from nowhere and everywhere at once. Formless, completely surrounding. You who beat your feet upon my sands, who chase the creatures, who are you?
They call me Tall.
Tall. A name for sure. Well, Tall. What to do with you? All alone, separated from your pack.
They'll come back.
Will they? Perhaps they are like you. Perhaps they too have plunged the depths of my sands, only further and never to return.
Why would you... Did you do that?
Oh no, I don't do anything. I am not in control. I am the will of the world. I am the sand shifting beneath your feet. I'm the step in your leg after a long day. The aching. I am the bug which flies upon your meat, which you roast and roast and roast, never to see it again. But I'm there. I did not do any of this, no. No, I'm just inevitable. I suppose you don't know what that word means.
Do you have a name?
Names. Such paltry things, names. If you must call me anything, I am formless.
And how do I not get swallowed up by the sand? How do I not get sick from the bug? How do I not get the ache in my leg? How do I not?
You can't not. And that's what's so beautiful about it. You never won't. But that's okay. Because there are others in this world. From far corners of this Terran planet. Who don't experience these things.
What? It is just us.
It is just you.
Tall is filled with despair. And he will create in his people a despair. A knowledge that death is coming and it cannot, will not be stopped. This mindset of despair will cause families to huddle closer together. It will put them on high alert. It will make them wary of other creatures, especially other things that talk, as thus far, death itself is the only thing that has ever talked to them. They will take on an isolationist philosophy.
Should I write down your name as the Formless then?
I think it's just formless.
Formless.
Okay. Formless.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I've got my idea now.
Cool. So we go to the rainforests of this planet. Thick, dense, humid, filled with rivers and tributaries, lush with green hanging vines and critters and bugs and wildlife. One such little piece of wildlife is a tiny little lizard that is skittering with its 6 legs up a root, and spying for itself a tasty little morsel. It looks like a bug, bright red and with little leafy appendages that twitch in the wind. But as the lizard goes and snatches it up, it realizes it's been tricked, as that lure that has just snapped onto shoots back up into the trees, and there's a little mangrove boy who's protruded his finger out to make a makeshift lizard fishing net, and he's got it hanging there, and he's having a grand old time. Licks his lips, and he's got sharp little, not really like teeth, but like on the inside of his mouth looks not too dissimilar to that of a Venus flytrap. He starts to slowly slurp the lizard up just to hold in his mouth with a big old Venus flytrap grin on his face. And starts to slowly digest the little bits of this lizard, just with its digestive juices. In what way do you present yourself to this little forest nymph, and how do you explain your domain to them?
A light flows up from the root of the tree up to the branch that this nymph is sitting on, and blooms a flower in front of them. And my voice emanates from this glowing magical flower. Hello, little one. Caught yourself lunch?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those sounds were not pleasant.
It was the sound of him trying to quickly finish what he was digesting in his mouth, but then realizing it was too early, and then deciding that will suffice.
Uh-huh. Quite right. You must feed your desires, such as hunger.
Mm-hmm.
What other desires do you little ones have?
He's like poking at the petals, trying to figure out where the sound was coming from.
And as we're talking, more of these flowers are blooming around us.
His jaw drops and like
from each one.
His jaw drops and like the last like leg of the lizard just kind of drips out in like a glob of digestive enzyme.
Oh, we mustn't waste our food.
What the hell? Huh?
Are you bewildered, little one?
Yes. Very much. You are talking flowers. That is new. Very, very new.
Well, I'm just talking through the flowers.
Huh?
My name is Telluro. I watch over you little ones.
Okay. Thank you.
What other needs must you sate, little one?
I mean, I have everything I want. It's warm out all the time, except for when it rains. But the rain's fine because I don't like the taste of river water. It's get too much stuff in it. No, I like it when it falls out of the sky. I can turn my hair into a big old leaf, capture it, drink the water right from the sky. I get plenty of sun.
You're resourceful.
I get plenty of sun. It's very sunny here. I like that. Lots of lizards, lots of bugs. Like a bug is just like floating around about trying to pollinate one of your flowers, and he does that. With that same finger trick, instead of like a little lure, it becomes like a little sticky bit, like the sticky bit of it's like the carnivorous plant that's got like all the little spines on it, and at the tip of the end is like a sweet stuff.
It's called a sundew.
Sundew. He like
It's
make the tip of his fingers a sundew, and then so he flicks that out and sticks the bug in his. Lots of things to eat, so I don't. I mean, I guess I'm bored. I mean, eating is fun, but I guess I'm bored.
I know something that could cure your boredom. And from my flowers that I've been growing around us, they release a little pollen that excites him.
Sexually.
Yes.
Okay. He like starts like all over his hair and all over his shoulders. He starts correct me if I'm flower wrong. Stamens?
Yes.
Stamens just like all over, and he starts to shed pollen like all about, and he gets this is weird. He gets a stiffy. I don't know what he's a tree guy. He gets a stiffy. I don't know. Okay, this is. I like this. This is really new. My name is Pod. By the way, it's nice to meet all of your flowers.
Hello, Pod. I want you to help other people feel this way too.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really, really awesome. How do I do that?
Here. And a branch comes up, and like the little like woody vines twist into a scepter with the carving of my flower on the top.
Do I hit people with it?
No, you just shake it in their direction and it will work.
And the pollen falls out of the stick. Ooh. Okay. Hey, Mom! He runs away. You've created a society of free plant love. You know? Free plant love. Very communal. Yeah, free plant love society. They're very welcoming and open and eager to share their pollen with everyone and anyone. And that's just how they be. That's how they live their lives.
So far proving my point.
Kind of, but this was my plan all along.
Hell yeah. And then finally, we have James.
Hi.
So, we move... Okay, this actually works really well. Because we have mountains, we have a desert, and we have a rainforest. The desert is on the rain-shadowed side of the mountains. And the rainforest is getting all of the rain. Because of where it is in proximity to the mountain. I love it when geology works like that.
That's crazy, man.
That's freaking great.
What a time to be alive.
I love that.
No.
So we
This is
find...
some malevolent type stuff here, though. Like, the side on the other side of the mountains is, like, fertile and prosperous, and these guys are suffering.
So much. Okay, so we are in the snowy peaks of the mountains of this world, and we see a family of these dwarves. Stone mechs piloted by a hive mind of lichened, protruding in enormous and extravagant, bushy, lichened beards that take in the
little boulder men.
Hey, Boulderman.
Yeah.
That take in stimulus and send that information throughout the structure. And a snowstorm whips up from the top of the mountain, sends just in a matter of seconds, it goes from relatively just kind of frosty, just kind of you can see where you're going, to instant whiteout conditions. And one of these stone dwarfs, a young lady of the dwarven... I mean, hold on. Does it make sense to impose the binary gender on this species?
You can do whatever you want. You're the god Vegas.
The god Vegas. One individual. We're not going to give them gender. We've already got enough gender going on, I think. One individual of this troop starts to just kind of fold itself up into a kind of defensive rock curl. The appendages that it has made just kind of slowly wrapping up and around the lichen beard. And its kind of headstone tilts forward just to kind of wait out the snow. And it waits. And it waits for a long time. James, how does your god present itself to this lonely stone? So,
the way that I pictured this god is that he effectively is the mountain.
I love that.
So, this little curled up stone dwarf feels a rumble on the ground beneath them, and there's like a shake off of snow and like tiny stones as two massive eyes appear right in front of them, and they are on the nose of the god.
That's amazing.
I imagine the physiology of these lichen people don't lend itself to big expressions. But if they could,
It would be pure shock.
Pure shock. Pure absolute terror.
Okay, so, just a suggestion. What if the gems reflect their moods?
I do like
That's
that.
pretty good.
I think that's pretty good.
It
Yeah.
did say they have gems for eyes that they use. It's like they pick them as they're growing.
Yeah.
And they put gemstones into what would be visible eye sockets to reflect light for them.
The older they get, the more gems they stick in their eye holes.
Yeah, they get like more encrusted. It looks like a big old crown by the time that they're.
But in actuality, it's all of their eyes.
It's just eyes going around.
Just eyes all the way around. Let's get biblically accurate.
Yeah.
So basically, it's where light can enter into the system, so they can have more visibility and they can use it for information sensing.
The little topazes that it has in its eye sockets are shivering, as it were, as it looks into the eternal depths of the deepness of this mountain, and recognizes that it is being watched by, frankly, something way too big.
And you just hear this. And this would be something that both of your people can hear, since you're both on either side of the mountain. This cacophony of basically what it amounts to is the god is yawning as he's waking up. You just hear like this rumble through the valleys. And it's just like, oh, hello, little one. Another traveler has made it to my nose. What a fine day it is. Do not be afraid, tiny one. And you see, like, it effectively is like plant life moving the rocks with it as it kind of like comes up and slowly pats him on the head. It's just like
your index finger is actually just a giant fir tree.
It's a giant, it's like a tree. It's like doo, doo, doo. What brings you up this far? Most do not make it to my nose.
The rare rocks.
Oh, life is just so much fun. What kind of rare rocks are you looking for? I see you have a fine... The kind of like another tree comes out and like pinches him by the main stone and just like picks him up and just holds him right up to the eyes. Is that topaz? I do love topaz. And sets him back down.
I'd actually like to get maybe a ruby, or I mean even a sapphire would be nice. Maybe.
Ooh, you are.
Maybe someone would respect me if I had one of those.
What do you mean by respect?
It's just if a stone is hard to find and then you have it, it means you are good at finding stones, and it means that your stuff is. And he gestures to all of it. Your stuff is good, and your information, your stuff is good to share for littler peoples. For littler ones that may come.
So you are looking to present more to your people, that you are better?
Not better, just valuable.
Why, little one, all life is valuable. You do not need precious items to prove that. But if precious items is what you wish, you were brave enough to make it to my nose. And there's a rumble as like the ground's shifting and like roots start popping gemstones out of the ground in various different colors. Oh, don't be hasty, little one. Take your pick.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Do you? How do I thank you for all of the this?
What do you wish for thanks for?
You made this happen. This is so nice.
I mean, he's like, I made all of this happen. This is just a sampling. It's simple, nothing really. And he's like, every time that he's laughing, you feel like the whole ground shaking, like earthquaking. The forest below, the mountain peaks above, the air that you're breathing, the rain in the sky was all, at one point, fun for me. If you are looking to be important to your people, make sure that they understand the natural order of how life is on this earth.
Okay.
Things grow.
So is your
Things die, things are reborn.
So is your god name literally just the mountain?
So I do have a name, but he hasn't asked me yet.
Oh, okay. I mean that's
Okay.
I mean that's kind of what he was getting at when he asked how to thank him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just tell you this because it's kind of a complicated way. He doesn't have a name, but
yeah.
other beings in the past have called him the Uneroded.
The Uneroded.
And for simplicity, because this is a lichen type people, others have called him Uznia, which is beard lichen.
Ah, cool. Uznia. The Uneroded.
Yep.
Oh, I like that.
And his whole shtick is, like, if we're talking what his, like, domain is, it's natural life. Like, things, like the cycle of life, so growth, death, rebirth.
Okay.
Things pass on.
Okay, so
because
we
that's
have...
what the lichens
okay.
do.
We have death, we have sex, and we have life.
Well, specifically hedonism.
We have death, we have sex, we have life.
All pleasures of life.
And
Okay.
specifically, despair.
Death / despair, okay. Despair.
And mine is natural life. So it's like the cycles of life where things can die, but they have a purpose after they die. It's like the natural order.
Okay. Yeah.
You were Father Mountain.
Yeah, Daddy Mountain.
This little topaz will tell the story for years to come and begin an oral tradition and inspire many other of its kind to journey up the mountain and be gifted with valuable stones and pretty rocks
I like to think
adorn
that
their stuffs.
they do a pilgrimage to climb the mountain, but in doing so, they spread more of their like plant life as they're going up, which causes more life and growth on the mountain. So it is like a cycle that they have to bring up nutrients up and down the peak.
That is excellent stuff. Okay. Let's see. First, yeah. So for clarity's sake, the specific command, like the ritual of bringing the ritual the ritual pilgrimage, I do believe would qualify as James's first commandment.
Yep.
The
I didn't command it, but they just come up. But yeah, it is like effectively a pilgrimage.
The ritual of shaking the horny stick at people, I think, qualifies as Moss's first commandment, if I'm not mistaken.
Go forth and spread pleasure.
Be fruitful and multiply.
For death / despair for the formless, what is there anything in like?
I would say Their commandment, gathering close to the fire on a dark, dark night.
Their fear.
Their fear.
Is that's what brings them closer to despair, their religion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. It is time to start the very first round. You guys each get 10 faith points to spend in a myriad of different ways, while I secretly roll a fun little dice for myself.
Okay.
James, would you like to read off the new and improved list of actions that gods can take?
So what's a god to do?
Yes, what's a god to do?
As gods, you can do anything. Here are some actions you can take and the associated faith cost. Declare a new domain, 3 faith. Envelop a new concept into your fold of power. These can be as concrete as stone or as nebulous as thought. Choose new prophet, 3 faith. Declare a new leader in the church. The GM will roll a d6. On a 3 or lower, the new prophet will cause a schism in the church. A god can add up to 3 additional faith to affect this roll in their favor. While your church is divided, all other actions cost 1 additional faith per division. Spending 6 faith on a new prophet while there is a schism mends the church and returns faith costs to normal. Ordain commandment, 5 faith. Establish a way of life, a celebration, or a ritual. At the start of each round, roll 1d4, the number of commandments, and add that to your faith pool. Minor miracle, 2 faith. Slightly manipulate probability in the lives of mortals. If you can argue that your specific domain is instrumental in this action, the GM may grant you +1 faith at the top of the next round. And major miracle, the spontaneous creation of a person, place, or thing for a specific divine purpose. If you can argue that your domain is applicable to this miracle's creation, the GM may grant you +3 faith at the top of the next round.
Hell yeah. So that being said, does anyone want to declare their first actions for this first 100 mortal year? So each round is 100 mortal years. So the end of this round will mark the end of the lifespan of definitely the humans, and probably also the first mangrove prophet and the first stone prophet as well. So does anyone want to does anyone have a action they would like to take first?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll perform a minor miracle. I want to fill the air in the rainforest with opium.
Okay. Okay. The all of the air in the rainforest,
Yes.
laced with opium. I'm gonna have to call that a
major.
all of the air, not just one specific place in the rainforest.
Just a smidgen all of the air. So like, you know how it's like whatever % oxygen, nitrogen, whatever. It's like 1%.
You want to put trace amounts of opium in the air throughout all of the rainforest for just a general mood boosting effect.
Yes, exactly. I am straight ripping this out of the magicians.
Okay. I will allow it.
Okay.
Mangroves that do not leave the rainforest by the time they reach sexual maturity will be addicted to the air they grew up in. If they ventured out any time before that, they won't have been exposed to it long enough for them to get fully and truly addicted. It's what happens when you play with opium.
Okay.
Okay. Just cause a whole rainforest of addicts.
I would say a different drug, but I
you
don't know a different drug.
You gotta need that rainforest air.
You gotta hear that capsulized rainforest air?
We move.
This-
we move
okay, this
we
has-
move several million years into the future, a cybernetic future in the rainforest, as everyone's encapsulating air and huffing it.
Man, I don't think they can't get this air strong enough anymore, man. Yeah.
What have I done?
But hey, it's a great
I was
vacation
just
spot.
going for a rough-
You gave the tree people Fent.
So you're down to 3 faith for the remainder of the round. Does anyone else want to take an action before Moss decides what they want to do with their remaining 3?
I would like to perform a major miracle.
Okay. What would you like to create?
It is a dark and unusually stormy night on the in this desert. The people are celebrating. For the longest time, they now have fresh water, and oh, how lovely it is! Because in the middle of this absolute downpour comes thunder, boom, 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 and down from the sky a bolt of lightning strikes directly into the stand, creating this form of what's the sand stuff called? The sand?
Sandglass?
Fulgurite.
Fulgurite, yes. Fulgurite. Lightning strikes the sand, and out from this blast of lightning comes this walking Fulgurite.
What have you created?
A new prophet. I'm gonna spend the next another 3 faith to make this guy a new prophet.
Okay. Okay, so you're only spending 3 faith on it. So on a 1, 2, or 3 on this D6, this new prophet, this Fulgurite prophet, causes a schism in your religion.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to, you can spend up to 3 more faith
Don't have
to
it.
increase your chances. You don't have it? Okay. So
5 plus 3 is 8. I have 2 left.
if you want to spend those last 2 faith, you can only make it so on a natty 1, the schism happens.
Sure.
Alright. Blowing all your faith, we've created a brand new life form made out of lightning glass, and we're gonna see if it causes a schism. Woo! So yeah, only on a natty 1, because of the faith that you spilled on this, will this cause a schism within your church. Tall is looking at this creature, and it's just sinister eyes that look, that have, it's eyes that have still within it living electricity.
Lightning is bottle.
Indeed. A schism is made. I just rolled a natty 1.
For some reason, I knew that was going to happen.
A schism as made as the Fulgurite prophet speaks of despair in tongues most foul.
You made a demon in a world full of humans.
You did.
A civil
different. Kill it.
civil war breaks out. There are
Yes!
humans. A civil war breaks out. There are humans that side with the living glass, and there are humans that side with Tall. Both sides are equally afraid of despair, but now they have an enemy. The other.
Each other.
There is an other
Yes!
among them. Some see the Fulgurite prophet as sent from God to protect them from despair. They are mistaken.
You gave your humans war, the one thing that makes them
Yes!
stronger. Damn it!
And the formless one takes delight in the bloodshed of the human race.
No. Okay.
This is exactly what I wanted.
This needs to end immediately.
I will never end. I am formless.
You have only spent 2 of your faith. You have 8 faith left. James, you have your full 10.
I do have a full 10. So I want to, given that I'm going last and I have the opportunity to listen to everybody else's miracles and I can make informed decisions from that,
Sure.
I want to know if you consider this would be like 2 minor miracles.
Mm-hmm.
One, well, I could technically combine it into one in theory. Is that I want to grow a lot more plant life more towards the bases of the mountain, so that my people are protected from the opium air with trees and plants and stuff that filter out toxins
Making a
from
hedge?
the air. Yeah.
We're gonna build a wall.
I imagine that there's like this barrier of like extra 100% fresh air that stops it.
It is like right at the border of this like drug den filled valley is a wall, like the growth of it's as a effectively like the oldest being on the planet sitting on this. He's just like, well, I don't like that, and it's just like we're just gonna wall that off a little bit.
It's like it's a fun trick of
and it's just like growing plants and stuff that will just filter
because
the
it's
air,
specifically
so if you walk. I like the idea in theory, because we are playing this where like we have to kind of play against like thwarting each other. That if you walk out of the rainforest through this like verge of like extremely like life-fulfilling air, that you reach like a level of clarity as you're just getting like a breath of fresh air for the first time in your life. So like you don't get the drug effect if you were to walk through this like the opium. It just returns you to like with no need for withdrawal symptoms and everything. You're just like, oh.
Okay. The initial partition I was going to give you with 2 minor miracles, if you wanted to completely cancel out the drug effect, it being a very mild drug effect that takes years to like, it takes years for the because
I'm okay with that.
Because it was
the effect
of a minor miracle.
Yeah.
Because it was the effect of a minor miracle and not a major miracle. It takes years for the opium effect to really mess with someone's mind. In the same way that lead poisoning kind of happens in that same way. So with two minor miracles, you can envelop. I would imagine. I would allow you to like make like a thick band of forest that like officially partitions the mountainous tree, conifers, firs from the mangroves, redwoods space, and the creatures in this area would come to call it the Vale.
Okay. And the other that was supposed to be one. The other one was supposed to be a minor miracle on the other side, where I just create like effectively like a ravine or a cliff face that makes it so that like there's a lot of war happening on this side. Like there's a lot of fighting happening over here. It's
so
just kind of like
a bush on one side, a canyon on the other.
Yeah. And it just kind of like enough that like people can still get past, but it just funnels, so that it makes it more difficult to get in and start interfering with my little life givers.
I like that. Okay, yeah. So that's 4 points spent.
4 points. And then I want to ordain a commandment.
Ooh, new commandment.
And that I want them to. It is effectively establishing a way of life and a celebration of life, where those like when something dies, they assimilate it into, like they break it down like a fungus and assimilate it into themselves, and then they release like a fungal spore of lights, and it's like a celebration where like when something dies, they turn it into a light show, like a floating lantern show.
Oh.
That way, so that if anybody comes into this area, they realize like, oh, it's actually really peaceful here.
Okay.
So the Vale just becomes like this area of life and death, where they're like, uh-oh, something died, and everyone's like has their time to grieve, but it becomes a celebration of like rebirth as these spores are shot back out into the atmosphere. The little lights come over and start growing on other things and causing more life to grow from the dead body that they consume.
Like sparkly little super nutrient floaty orbs. Yeah, I kind of would love to do a little scene where that happens for the very first time. Topaz the Wanderer, as they become called later on. finds a sort of like a mountain goat. It's got 5 horns adorning its enormous skull. Finds it with a seriously broken set of back legs, and clearly it's been waiting for help for far too long. It's exhausted, it's tired, it is going to die very soon, and Topaz comes upon it and breathes in the scent of death through their beard, and they feel it in their stone heart, a compassion for this creature, and says a quick prayer up to the uneroded.
It's like, oh, it's the first time that he's talked to Topaz in years.
Hey!
Hello, Topaz. I believe that is what your people have called you.
Yes. They call me
What do you-
Wanderer as well.
Oh, that is just the best. They call me the uneroded sometimes. I thought that was pretty neat.
I found this young denizen of your mountain, and I feel sad for it. Its
Why do
life
you feel
seems to
sad?
be cut so short.
Life is unfortunate like that sometimes. But it doesn't have to be to the end, where one life ends, another life will begin. And he puts his hand over the goat, and you see the light show that he was talking about, where like this hand made of boulders and moss and lichen and trees and stuff comes over and just covers the goat so he doesn't have to see it when it happens. And you just see it like slowly compress down into the earth, and as it's compressing down into the earth, these little green orbs of light start coming off, and like little motes floating off. And as it's happening, you see the earth around it start erupting in like grasses and mosses, and like little wildflowers start popping up, and then it starts growing into trees, and like just life is growing as these motes start popping off.
I see. From what once moved, there will be more green for the currently moving to feast on. That will one day stop moving and become more green.
Everything that has a beginning has an end, but every end is a new beginning.
I see. He takes a small flower from the ground and concentrates very hard with all of its lichen will, and the plant starts to shrivel and kind of poofs into one single floating green mote, being able to copy this ritual that it's seen its god just perform, in obviously a much less powerful form, but this is to be honed.
Things take time.
Yeah. So you
Do not
spent
be
all but
hasty
one of your
about
points,
that.
which means you cannot afford to do anything else this round.
That's okay. I got 1 point remaining. Does that roll to the next round?
It
or
does
no?
not. Points
Oh, that's
spoil.
It's fine. I don't need it. I had a really good round.
You other two.
I'm calling the desert side the valley.
The valley.
So there's the valley and the vale.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I just really like that. It's really good.
The
You
Valley
two
of Blood.
still have points to burn. Right.
Yes.
I did a major miracle and chose a prophet.
Shows up. That's 3
but
and
I
5.
spent 8, but I spent 2 to lower that to a 1.
Okay, so you don't have any points. Okay.
I do not have points.
And Moss, do you have any points left to burn?
Yes, I still have 3. I was going to ask, what would it be if I wanted to create a warrior class of these?
You want to selectively breed a warrior class?
What are they fighting
No,
with?
just
Swords?
like 1 in every 10 is like a big hulky bark monster instead of
An
like,
actual
a
Leshy?
willowy-
I think
like
I
That
mean,
is
there is
interesting.
sometimes a Malkai.
Smokey had to do a major commandment to make a
Major
lightning
miracle
monster.
to make to make just one. He used a
Like, I
major
can
miracle
make
to create it, and then he had to spend points to make it a profit. So at the very least, the major miracle of at least one. I would think so. That sounds like honestly, that sounds like a major miracle and then an ordained commandment. To one, create the first one, and then secondly, to ordain it to happen more than once. Yeah.
That might be a round 2.
That might be a round 2 type situation.
Okay.
How many points do you have left?
Yeah. I've got 3.
You can choose
You
a
could do
new
a minor.
prophet.
You could do a minor miracle.
You can declare a new domain. You can choose a new prophet. You can do a minor miracle.
Are you picking combat as a new domain?
No.
Making a warrior class.
No, just like I want there to. So I've got a village of villagers, but I want an iron golem.
I see. You're playing Minecraft.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So you want to let those points spoil then?
I'm thinking I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
Oh, wait. What if I create, like, a 1 yearly occasion where my flowers bloom all over?
That sounds like a...
Well, like, one specific area.
The commandment was okay. Are you considering that a minor miracle?
I was thinking maybe minor.
Minor miracle, I think, would be, again, minor miracle kind of, that would be it happening once. And ordaining a commandment would be making it a yearly thing. Right. To make something happen once costs one thing. Making it happen many other times because you're a god and you're making it happen. That, yeah.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to let them spoil.
Oh, right. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll out your commandment points here. You, Smokey and James, you both did major miracles, right?
No, I did 2 minors and a commandment.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So James, I'm gonna let you take that floating minor miracle point, those 2 floating minor miracle points. Smokey, I'm gonna let you have the 3 floaters from your major. And then you, Moss. Yeah, your minor miracle was definitely related to your domain, so I'm gonna let you have that floater as well. So you get the 10 from the beginning of the round. You get 5 at the beginning of the round. The 10, sorry. You get the 10 from the beginning of the round, plus those floaters from your miracles from the previous round, and now I'm about to roll what your commandments bonuses are with D4s.
You just get one floating point per minor miracle?
Yes.
Is that how that works? I'm just reading through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you did 2, and they both applied really well, I believe, and so I'm going to give you both of them.
Radical.
And so you have ordained 2 commandments, James, so there's 2 D4s in the cup.
2 minor miracles, 1 commandment, so it'd just be 1 D4?
You already had a commandment from the previous round.
Okay, perfect.
You gain an additional 6 faith. I rolled a 4 and a 2. Moss, you still just have that 1 commandment, the commandment of the horny stick. So we're just gonna roll for that. You gain additional 2 faith. And your commandment of be afraid of all things. Just the 1 commandment. I'm just gonna roll the D4. And you get an additional 4 faith to your pool. 100 years has passed. The 2 factions of humanity, the
They have taken to calling the Fulgurite being the Witness.
The witness.
What did he witness?
So there are those who follow the
bloodshed.
witness.
He walked
And
in
there-
on Mom and Dad.
There are those who follow the witness, and there are those who follow the tallest. The House
easy
of
now.
Tall. The second prophet, who's yet to be spoken to by you, the son, the heir of the tall name, stands before the battlefield, watching his soldiers, the spearmen, and the spearmen and the slingers, the primitive flingers throwing stones. They
Tell you
watch.
those things wicked dangerous. They're actually
Wicked
legitimately
dangerous.
wicked dangerous. I have one. They're awesome.
They are honed and dangerous as they go face to face with the Fulgurite weaponry given to them by the witness themselves. Their life has been nothing but endless war and fear and strife, and the formless one watches from afar, delighting in the bloodshed. These annoying little things that make so much noise are finally just dying. But they keep fucking, and so they keep replacing themselves, so that's not great. But they're dying! That's great!
That's something.
We love that!
Oh yeah.
I just made my people do the one thing that he hates most.
They won't stop fucking.
The podlings, follower of the first voice of the forest, Talora. They live in lavish bliss. Some seek out to find new partners from far off lands. They seldom leave for long, especially because they're addicted to the air. And they become they're pretty good at being merchants. They deal in the fruits and the bits of creatures, and when they do cross the veil to trade with the dwarves, the Lycan dwarves, they find them to be most peculiar, as there's a little bit of genetic exchange in their reproduction, but a lot of it is most similar to just mitosis. And the stone dwarves find these woody mangrove, lanky, tall things to be very peculiar, as they don't stick around for too long. I mean, they bring fun and interesting flavors, and when your whole body tastes, that's great. We love that. But they're kind of annoying. They're kind of loud. They kind of dance funny, and they're
I
always
know they're white.
they scurry off with each other in pairs and disappear for like hours on end, especially when they had other plans. It's kind of rude.
Stinks over there.
So with your brand new pool of faith points, does anyone have an action that they want to do right off the bat? I know, Moss, you had something kind of that you were interested in doing.
Yes.
Did you want to just blow your 10 points on the minor miracle and the new commandment? That was major miracle and the new commandment, sorry?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. I like that. That's really cool. I would like to posit that in the tradings with the Lycan folk, some of the hardy cold climate root vegetables of the mountainous biome get traded and passed through the mangrove community. And with the... What'd you make that face for?
I just love... I love this.
Okay.
Continue, please.
With these hardy root vegetables, they get passed through the mangrove community and they're consumed, and maybe 1 in every 50 mangrove children that, I won't say be born, but are kind of hatched out of hanging fruit that's split down the middle and kind of crack open and plop into the river beneath. Most of them float. That's the normal state of these mangrove children. When they're born, they float. But some of them sink. 1 in every 50 of them sink. And they hibernate and grow and dig their roots in deep to the rich soil at the bottom of the river. And after maybe 2 or 3 months, they emerge hulking, big, barky boys. Like you said, for every 50, like, little noodly-armed nymph that likes to fuck, a Maokai from League of Legends erupts from the swampy depths. And what does Tolura say to the first podite that witnesses the birth of this new defender class, this new defender caste?
Be not afraid, my little ones.
Holy shit.
He is here to defend these lands.
He's so freaking huge.
He is your friend.
He's hot.
Go forth.
And the large
enjoy
one
yourselves.
tips its head and with one hand picks up this podite. And yeah, from this point on, 1 in every 50 mangrove children sink. And they are called the sunken grove, as opposed to the mangrove children.
Sunken Grove, okay. That is way better than Bark Golem or whatever the fuck that I
Sunken
was
Grove.
trying to think of.
They've got, like, they like I said, they sink so that they can, like, get all of that nutrient straight from the ground instead of, just the surface level stuff that the average mangrove can pick up with their foot roots. They're very slow, but they're very extremely durable. And the first few lichen dwarves that witness a sunken grove cast come, decked to the nines in fruits and whatnot with one, like, smaller, skinnier mangrove man trader. The lichen, they kind of mistake it for one of their own initially. The lichen folk, they like the sunken ones just a little better.
They're quieter.
Just a little bit. And in time, some of the sunken grove actually managed to just live amongst the dwarves. Over time, their appearance take on less of the jungle trees and start to grow needles and furs.
More like alpine.
More alpine.
Yes.
This is happening over the span of this 100-year round, slowly but surely. So that's all 10 of Mox. That's 10 of Moss's points. How many points do you have left to spend before we move on to the other 2?
Just the extra 3.
Just the extra 3. All right. James and Smoky, do y'all have any actions you'd like to take with your newly accumulated points?
James?
I can go if you want. That's fine.
I'm okay with either. I've got a plan.
So first, I want to do a major miracle
Okay.
and have an assimilation of the sunken groves into the dwarven culture, and basically I'm making stone taluses.
Okay.
They are massive dwarves, where they assimilate into the lichen, like they just kind of evolve into the community over time.
Mm-hmm.
But they're because they're so much bigger than the standard lichen, they can pick up larger boulders and become larger creatures, and they become like protectors of the realm that are just like they just walk around. A tree falls over a little bit, but it's still alive. They'll uproot it, or they'll put it back up, and they're just effectively tree shepherds. They're like a mix between a stone talus from Breath of the Wild and an Ent from Lord of the Rings, where they just kind of like the two of them together are these massive stone tree golems that walk around. Yeah, boulder gardeners.
Okay, I have a fun little scene that I think would be very fun to do. There is the smallest of the lichen dwarves. And their name is Peridot. They've got 3 little Peridot eyes. And the very first of the Sunken Grove come through the veil, and they are dumbfounded. They were already small, but now there are bigger things out there. And in pure desperation to just not be so goddamn small, they pray to Uznia.
Hello, little one.
Please, I don't want to be small.
I
don't want to be small. I don't want to be small. I'm so small. I don't want to be small. I don't want to be small. I'm so small. I don't want to be small.
Why so hasty, little one?
I don't want to be small.
What is so wrong with being small? And he's like, all life comes in various sizes. And in front of Peridot, like a little dandelion sprouts. And it just like evolves to the point of like the seeds, and the seeds blow off in front of him. It's like, all life has a purpose, big and small.
If I was big, I could help the trees. When the wind comes, and they knock, and some of the smaller trees get knocked over. If I was big, I could put them right back up.
You wish to be a protector of the small.
Yeah. I know what it's like to be so small.
You are wise beyond your little years, tiny Peridot. Let's see how we can make this work. And he sees like given that he is a commander of like life, and these sunken groves are life forms of like plant life, and he's like, what is your name? And he's pointing towards it as it kind of strides by.
I'm called Mulch.
Oh, very appropriate name for a creature of your stature. Mulch, may I introduce you to a friend of mine? This little one here is Peridot.
I'm Mulch. I heard. You are very big, and it made me have equally large feelings about being so small.
Mulch, what do you wish for in your life?
I've been told I'm supposed to protect the skinny ones, the mangrove people, the nymphs. I was told that it was my purpose given to me by Talora.
I am familiar with Talora. A fun little sprite, if not a little loose around the edges. Mulch, how would you like to help Peridot in their quest?
To be big?
To defend the small.
Okay.
And you see like 2 hands come together and just pick up both of them, and it's just one of those things where they just kind of put them together, and then you see like a flash of green light. Yes, a flash of green light, and as he removes his hands apart, it's effectively a massive stone guardian of wood and stone. And
This new creature speaks in both Peridot's and Mulch's old voice. And from that day forward, when a sunken grove dies in the domain of the uneroded, a lichen can, if they choose, come up to that corpse and sort of reanimate it, sort of make it alive again in a new form. The initial memories and personalities of both creatures are truly and well effused into a new evolution of their existence.
I do like calling them boulder gardeners.
Boulder gardeners.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that was a good name.
So
that was
that's
a really good name.
one major miracle.
Yep.
That costs 5 faith.
I have 13 more to go.
Hey yo.
I'm going to ordain a commandment that the boulder gardeners do what is right by the natural order.
Okay.
So it is
that's a new
something that if something is trying to destroy unnaturally, like something's coming down and cutting down trees or setting fires and naturally being destructive, they have it in their power to stop that threat.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also in their power to right other wrongs, like I was saying before, like tending to things that are still alive but need help.
Okay.
So they're just kind of wandering protectors through the realm. Little knight errants.
Yeah. Okay, so before you do any other actions, we gotta have.
I'm just typing out my commandments. So I have my
gotta let Smokey have a turn with all of their fun points.
Yes. How many do I have?
You did one major miracle. You ordained
3 floating.
3 floating. And then I rolled a 4 on your commandment.
So 17.
So 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to spend 7, I guess, because I have +1 increased faith cost. Right?
Right. Well, yeah.
I would like to
plus for each division. So you have one. Maybe I didn't word it correctly to what I meant. You have 2 sects, so that's a point per each sect. Is what I meant to.
Okay.
That's what I meant, and I don't know if per division was actually the right word now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay. Then that would be 8, yeah?
Yeah, that'd be 8.
Okay, I would like to spend 8 to ordain a new prophet.
A third.
Okay. So that's
See what you're
okay. So that's
doing here.
8. So new prophet.
I have 9.
You have 9.
This prophet, they stand atop a dune of sand in the middle of a night. Fires are everywhere. They are looking upon a war-torn battlefield where there lay countless bodies of their kin.
Mm-hmm.
And the wind begins to pick up around them and blow sand kind of just everywhere. And in this sand, they are kind of semi-trapped. They begin to see a red light in the sand, and it grows bigger and spasms out and then contracts and then spasms out and then contracts. It's me.
Okay. This is your non-formless form?
Yeah. Don't you just wish all this war could stop? Isn't it so terrible?
The desert is harsh enough. We don't need to be fighting each other. But that monster, it only knows one thing. And that's war.
You My strongest warrior. You could put an end to it all. I will give you the power to put an end to it all. Slay the Fulgurite being. You have my blessing.
How?
Blunt weapons work surprisingly well against rocks.
Okay.
And in this battle that ensues, there is the two of them. There is this new prophet. As he walks.
I'm picturing Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
It's pretty. Okay, cool.
He walks through the sands, and as he walks, pieces of the coarse sand kind of tear at his skin and create like friction burns. And this hardens his skin so that the Fulgurite being will not be able to pierce it. They fight. It is a bloody battle. But this prophet wins. And in this, I will also create a new commandment.
Woo!
Ritual combat, baby! Let's go!
Ritual combat, baby!
I don't want to be a stickler for the rules,
Uh-huh.
but don't you have to roll for another schism?
Okay, so...
I did spend 8 faith.
So initial cost is 3.
Yeah.
To make it... To spend 6 faith on it...
Okay, so you're
makes
you're
it makes
you're
makes
mending
the
schism.
makes so when you spend 6 faith on a new prophet while a schism happens, that mends the church. While a schism is happening, actions cost 1 more per sect, so 6, 7, 8. That's how he's managed to mend the schism.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm following the following the rules here.
Conan the Shatterer, new prophet and head church, new prophet and head of religion for the House of Tall, will wear the discarded and still crackling with electricity shards of Fulgurite in a ritual necklace around their enormous manly chest, and oversee ritual combat. Whenever there is a dispute, they settle it in the ring. Whenever there is a divorce, they settle it in the ring. Paternity test in the ring. Might makes right for these hairless apes, and in a way, a new form of despair washes over humanity. For the weak despair to wrong the strong.
I will also spend another 3 to make one of my domains ritual combat, or combat specifically.
Okay. Love that.
So that leaves me with spent 8, then spent 5, so I have 4 left. So that leaves me with 1, and I am done then.
Cool.
I still have 8 to play with, so I have my follow-up to this with my remaining 8 points.
Being aware of stone, being a mountain yourself, when a being made of living glass is destroyed, it certainly gets your attention.
I'm witnessing the advancement of warfare on the side here, and I am going to declare the second most popular dwarven domain as my first thing. So spending 3 to declare a domain of the Forge.
The Forge!
And I'm going to teach these dwarves how to craft and make tools and make ways to protect themselves.
In a Lincoln log hall of these lichen dwarves, the wall that is the mountain itself opens to the dwarves, revealing a fiery hearth of molten lava
The heart
at the
of the
center
mountain.
of the mountain. Uznia, let's do it. Let's do a teaching montage.
So, Uznia reaches through, like, essentially, he can move things within the mountain himself. He is the mountain, so he is pushing ores out of the ground and instructing them on the using the heat to smelt the ores and purify them, and making iron and combining the irons into steel, and learning how to use the natural gifts from the earth to create and and the first thing that they do is they're making shovels and picks and hoes to garden and
Sorry, can't help myself.
but they're also creating things that they're like, oh, I can create armor for myself so I can so that my stone doesn't fall apart as easy, and they're like welding themselves together and making like these half stone, like half metal bodies,
Filling
and,
their cracks in with gold.
yeah, and they're gilding themselves.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to establish as my last part a commandment of it goes along with the declare domain portion of it. So it's
Okay.
using their gifts to what was I going to say? Wow, ADHD moment here. It's completely blanked out for a second. They are to only use the gifts of the Forge to protect the other commandments, basically, or to further the other commandments that have been given.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, you can use these, but you don't take a life without giving it back. You don't. The only way that you can like go out and protect something is if you're doing it to stop the unnatural cycle of life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, but they're effectively, I'm just creating dwarves.
Right.
Just giving them tools.
Okay. You declare Forge as the domain.
Yep.
And the new commandment
It's like
is don't make weapons, make tools.
don't make weapons, make tools.
All right, and that brings you
In
to
this
how many
part-
commandments right now?
That'll bring me to 1, 2, 3, 4 commandments.
That's what I thought.
And the don't make weapons, make tools goes alongside the fact that like a knife can be considered a weapon, but its first purpose is a tool.
It is, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
This might be a tool, but it is the tool of your death.
Gotcha. Does anyone else have any points that they're not wanting to spoil?
That should put me at 18, which is what I had at the start of the round.
Excellent. No one else?
I
Like these.
want. Can I declare a new domain without like doing a whole lot with it yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, domains basically just, expand the horizon of what you can do with major and minor miracles and get points back afterwards.
Yes. Okay. So I wanted to do something with alchemy. In the sense of Skyrim, where it's like
You want to make skooma?
potions.
Skooma? I don't know Skyrim.
I not
It's a Khajiit
skooma.
drug that's basically just opium.
Oh, fun.
Not I wasn't thinking skill, but
Sounds like that old computer game Zuma.
nothing like that.
It's even made from something called moon sugar.
Anyway.
I was thinking of taking the air and condensing it into a liquid form to be used as, like, a sedative that the dwarves can use.
You're making like an apothecary?
You want to
Like
be of pleasure and medicine?
Yes.
A trickster god of pleasure and medicine. That's a funky combination, and I like it.
That is a funky combo.
Pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, you can declare. You can declare medicine as a domain.
Okay. Yeah.
Death, despair.
That sounds a bit better than
Ritual
this elf
combat.
because it's bitten outdoors.
You guys, all three of you gods, not at the beginning of this 100-year period, but definitely at the end of this 100-year period, you can feel maybe 1, 2 a year. Some of your flocks are going away, and their connection to you is waning. And only at the end of this year, this 100-year period, do you finally pick up on something. To the north of the mountains, where it turns into grassy plains, there is a group of mortals that are collecting themselves together, and they've made a statue. A statue of what appears to be some sort of deer centaur, with the sun in one hand, the moon in the other, and stars adorning its antlers. And these mortals are calling it the one true God. And thus ends this round. So, so we had one major miracle from Moss. I'm gonna give you those 3 floaters. We had a commandment. We had. Did you do any miracles, Smokey? This round?
I did not know.
No miracles for you this round.
I declared a new prophet, and I ordained a commandment, and I declared a domain.
Awesome. You then also did a major miracle, James.
I had a major miracle, 2 commandments, and a domain declared.
Awesome. So both Moss and James get 3 floating points from their major miracles last round. James's commandments lead currently at 4 commandments. So at the beginning of this round, I roll 4d4, and they get that many points added to their round 10. It's really easy to snowball just a little bit in this game. Especially when you roll 3 3s into 2.
Hell yeah! Let's go! 11.
That's 11 faith from your commandments alone.
That's supposed to be at 24, sitting pretty, baby.
Moss, you didn't ordain any commandments last round, no? Alright, which just leaves you still with just your 1. So 1d4 goes in the cup. Shake it up, shake it up. Unfortunately, you only get 1 faith point. When you spend all day fucking, it's not really a priority to look up at the god above you and thank them for it, because, hey, life's too easy. I mean, hedonism is great. It's not really great for inspiring thankfulness in people who don't know what it is like to suffer. Which brings us to Smokey's kin, who have 2 commandments to follow. Fear and kill. So 2 dice in the cup, shake it up, shake it up. That is a 4 and a 2.
16.
16 faith points. All three gods are aware of their people slowly joining a faction beyond them, a race of centaur deer folk proclaiming theirs is the one true god. And some of your people are coming back and spreading this word, not only of this one true god, but of living in harmony with 3 other races. Something that none of your communities have ever really done. We're just getting into the age of advanced crafting and travel. And so these societies, they have been more or less isolated. I mean, the mangrove people and the dwarves, they've talked to each other. But the humans have seldom seen another race, another intelligent creature, and now these guys are coming to the desert saying that not only there's a place where there's a lot of grass, cool deer people, cool tree people, cool rock people. Take all this in mind as you guys make your actions for this round.
I have all my actions already planned out.
Does anyone else want to go before Smokey specifically, or do you guys want to let Smokey run free with their machinations?
You can go.
I think I need to plan this out a little bit
Okay.
more.
Okay, so these exiles come back to my lands, spreading gospel of new gods' ways of life. These are wrong. These are weak. And so the Shatterer, or the bloodline of the Shatterer, I don't know if he's still alive. Maybe. He's really cool.
He is really cool.
He's really cool.
Conan kicks ass.
Formless will speak to them once again. They are...
I'm imagining Zeus from Record of Ragnarok.
Maybe, yeah. They're sitting upon a throne of deadwood, in a camp, an open-aired camp. Maybe they have a tent or something like that. I don't know.
Sure.
And this exile comes to him and preaches of these new lands. He is not spoken to. He is given a command. Subjugate this weakling.
You're ordaining a commandment.
I am ordaining a commandment. Subjugate the weak.
Subjugate the weak. And so the Shatterer mobilizes their camp. All of human society becomes hell-bent on war. The shattered pieces of the Witness are because I don't want to let the Witness go to waste, I'm going to say that the pieces of the Shatterer slowly grow back over time and try to refuse back into its former glory. But the Shatterer is there to keep that in check at all times because he's literally wearing it around their neck. So what the Shatterer will do is whenever like a growth gets too big and unruly, he will snap it. He will give it to a crafter. And so production of fulgurite weaponry goes way, way up. And war bands of humans start to march to the north, their footsteps ringing out through the desert, across the canyon, and to the ears of the uneroded. Before we let Smokey play with any more of his points, does anyone want to make an action?
James, you got anything?
I'm thinking. There's a To be honest with you, I'm not super worried about any of it being with my domain, so everything.
No, your people aren't weak.
No, nor do they care. Like,
If anything, the only reason that my people would interact with your people is to prove their worth in ritual combat.
And to be honest with you, they'd probably lose. They're just kind of if a boulder gardener came up upon a human. I don't know if you've ever gotten hit by a rock, but that's
A big rock.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, the indomitable human spirit, something to be said for it.
Something spiral something.
But you're right. You're right. They're not particularly concerned with you, I would say. They're more concerned with these heretics.
Heretics. I think we're gonna play at the end of this round because we're getting close to the end here. We're gonna play out the rest of this round, and then we might have to end for tonight.
That's
For sure.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ordain a major miracle.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
As just the last thing here. You said this is a plains to the north.
Yeah. Plains to the north. Yeah.
I am going to grow the plains. I'm going to make them harvestable and sustain more life, and make it so that so that they don't. It doesn't matter who's there for my god. Like my people can go down there and help make this a sustainable living economy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't know if you consider that major or minor, but I am.
I think if your goal is to make an entire other biome better for life, I'm gonna say that's a major miracle.
I'm gonna say 5 points for major miracle, and my whole thing is that I am bestowing a gift upon the people of the plains.
Yeah. The lichen dwarfs that have made their home amongst the deer tar will recognize the glowing green spores of their home flowing from the mountain in a strange and unusual wind that doesn't typically come from the mountain to the south of them. And they will see it. They will be reminded of their homeland and the stories that their parents told them.
I have kind of an addition to your portion there. So the wind's coming down from the mountain, but they're also like a diversion of a mountain tributary of like snow runoff, creating a river.
Okay.
That cuts the plains, and I want to have a massive tree grow at the base of the mountain that is a symbol of Uznia the Uneroded, of saying like, this is my gift to you. Here is this like massive tree. Picture, if we're talking Minecraft terms, it's like when you go into like the taiga where they have like the double pine trees.
Oh hell yeah!
And it's just a massive pine tree that can like sustain a lot of life around it. And the mountain runoff creating a river creates a lot of like nutrients and life around the plains, causing it to become more verdant.
Is there anything
That's
you
what
want
I
to do,
got.
Moss?
I don't actually know. We
The leader of this cult of the one true Dirtar god sees and recognizes the hand of Uznia. And when asked by the lichen dwarves, the mangroves, and the humans, he will take credit for it.
Sure.
he refuses to acknowledge the existence of the three of you.
But you did say that my people recognize it.
In their hearts, in the same way that I recognize that the canyons may have been formed by a worldwide flood, a la biblically Noah, but but I don't necessarily believe that the biblical flood actually happened. That is a similar faith train of thought that the Lycan dwarves they experience. Like, I've heard stories about like the god of our homeland maybe did this thing once or twice, according to our ancestors. But that's a nice story. But we know how things actually work now, type situation. And when they seek explanation from this leader of this Dear Tar One True God cult, he takes full credit for it. He says that his God, the one true God, the one who holds the stars in his antlers, the moon in his right hand and the sun in his left, he is the one that caused this tree to grow, for the spores to come and make these lands more verdant, for the river to come and make it easier for us to water our crops. It was me and my God. And little by little, those who are in his flock believe him. Thus is the peril and the arrogance of a one true God. Before we end, is there absolutely anything you want to do, Moss?
Kill the non-believer.
I don't know. I just want to like safeguard
The rainforest.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Okay. But yeah, in as few as like 2.5, 3 rounds, we have built a marvelous and rich world filled with interesting creatures and, pretty deep lore for 2 hours of work. This is exactly this is exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to accomplish with a game like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed playing. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'm gonna make some tweaks to this PDF, and I'm gonna post it to the thing that Smokey said earlier, and hopefully you guys get some fun and use out of it, and make fantastical worlds filled with powerful and amazing gods and awesome stories. I, of course, have been your God Magus, Goon the Unending, playing the formless god of death, despair, and ritual combat has been Smokey the Malevolent Blaze.
Subjugate the weak, ooh.
Playing the god of the tree folk, both skinny and thick AF, the god of pleasure and medicine has been Moss the Trickster.
I just wanted happy little tree people, and everybody wants to kill each other on the other side of the world.
And
You're
finally,
welcome.
playing the uneroded Uznia, father of the mountain, god of the natural order of life and the forge, has been video sage.
Video Sage. That was pretty good. I got that.
Yo. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for watching. Where I think I'm just gonna do one Patreon art. I think I'm just gonna draw all 3 of your gods together, cradling this brand spanking new world, probably representing Smokey's with like a mist of just malcontent with a crooked evil smile. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna do a poll or anything like that. And if you want to see it, feel free to join the Patreon. All art is available to watch for free. Next week, because I didn't get around to doing it today, I'll be posting Video James's episode of the Cosmic Book Club. That'll be available for free to watch on YouTube and on the Patreon. The episode next month, with Video Free Will as the guest, that one will be behind the $5 Patreon paywall. So if you like the first 2 episodes, you want to see the third one next month, feel absolutely obliged to subscribe at the $5 level and get access to the companion TTRPG loving video podcast that we're making for you guys. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And it's tough to be a god, but when you get the people's now, count your blessings.